Today I'm going to be sharing 5 things that have helped me to grow my little YouTube channel to where it is at the moment, to 500 subscribers. I've been on a bit of a journey so far with things. There've been some ups and there have most certainly been a couple of downs. But I'm gonna go through 5 of the things that have definitely, I think, been really, really key to my growth on my YouTube channel. So at the end of this, there's going to be a little bit of a Q&A as well. And oh my goodness, I've just remembered a 6th thing that I am very, very gobsmacked I didn't put on this list. So I'm actually just I'm going to write that down. And at the end of this, make sure you stick around because I am going to mention this final thing right here, and it's a little bit of a bloody ripper. So without further ado, can I please get a little bit of a drum roll? Hello, YouTube enthusiast. Welcome to the live chat. Are you who I think you are, YouTube enthusiast? I think you might be. Actually, if anyone in here is a fellow YouTuber, pop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what your channel is about, how long you've been on YouTube. Yes, YouTube enthusiast. This is the Weber enthusiast, the Kirby enthusiast, and retro gamer enthusiast who I interviewed on my channel a few weeks ago about all of your awesome channels. And it looks like you've started a 4th channel, YouTube enthusiast. So looking forward to checking that one out. Yeah, anyone else who has a YouTube channel, let me know. Super keen to connect with you. And without further ado, I'm going to jump into my top 5 things. And then there's going to be a 6th one at the end that I forgot about until we started here. The first one is know your what and know your why. So there's kind of, I think, not a lot of point to starting a YouTube channel unless you understand really, really clearly what it is you're trying to do, what you want to talk about, and why you want to talk about it. Why do you want to start a YouTube channel? Like, is it something that you want to do as a bit of a hobby, or is it something that you want to use to grow your business, like a current brick and mortar business that you have? Is it something, do you want to start a business and you want to use YouTube to help you grow it? Do you just want to connect with other fellow creators? Like, I don't know, there's a billion reasons why you might choose to start a YouTube channel. For me, I decided to start a YouTube channel when I was going through a little bit of a tricky time. I had some shoulder injuries and I have a dog walking business. So that made my job kind of difficult. And I had also, it was during a time, this was about like 9 or 10 months ago, when everyone was in lockdown. I'm also a performer, so there wasn't a lot of acting work going around at that time. And I found this as a creative outlet, but also I saw it as an opportunity to potentially grow something to eventually create a business out of, which is definitely not something that we should expect to happen quickly or overnight. I'm certainly amazed that I have managed to get up to 500 subscribers already. That's so awesome. And I'm so grateful to everyone for watching my videos and checking it out. But, you know, I'm very clear about why I want to do this. And I've been on a bit of a journey and a bit of a roller coaster. I started out making my YouTube videos about personal finance, which I was and I am really, really passionate about. But a few months ago, maybe about 1 month ago, some new regulations came through in Australia that mean that it's not really very fun anymore to make videos about personal finance, because there's all kinds of threats that if you tell people what they should do, even if it's in like a very, I don't know, careful manner, you can go to jail for that. And I don't have any interest in going to jail for trying to help people pay off their debts and things like that. So I was really faced with a pretty challenging time of going, oh my gosh, I've been building this channel for like 9 months and I was loving it so much, learning so much myself about investing, which is one of the beautiful things about creating a YouTube channel around a really specific niche, because you end up learning so much more about that thing. And yeah, so for investing in personal finance, that was a lot of fun for me, and it was great to kind of document my journey. So I'm definitely rambling. Know you what and know you why. So when that happened, when that change happened, I had to think really quickly about what I wanted to do from now. And over the course of learning about investing and making videos about it for YouTube, I realized how very, very passionate I also am about creating YouTube channels. I was like telling everyone, I was like, Christian, you should start a YouTube channel because you're so talented with, tech stuff or whatever. And I was like, Dylan, my brother, I was like, you got to start a YouTube. You've got to put stuff on your YouTube channel. And I was really hassling everyone because I could just see so clearly the potential that YouTube has for growth. So my why for what I'm doing now, which is helping people to grow their own YouTube channels. I'm interviewing fellow YouTubers about their journeys. I'm making tutorials about different tools that I use that I love. And yeah, so I just want to help people to grow their channels and inspire them and uplift them and go on this journey together. I'm still very much a rookie, but I also think it's really interesting to see the journey that a rookie such as myself takes with YouTube. And I am really looking forward to one day in a year or 5 years looking back on this very video and going, holy shit, you rambled a lot. You're going to get better at that. Thank you very much for that beautiful, supportive word of encouragement. You are fantastic. This is excellent. Emily O'Brien Brown, not a mother of a dog, an auntie of a dog, and one of my very, very best friends in the whole wide world. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. So the next thing that I would say is just super, super important is to post consistently. So when I talk about consistency, not just posting like every single week, which I think is really, really important. It's really important to post regularly, whether that's weekly, fortnightly, every 3 days, whatever it is that works for you and your life. It's also really, really very important to consistently post about your specific niche. So it's, you might have like a million different ideas for what you want to make videos about. And that can be a real challenge. I know I've met a lot of people through doing YouTube who, they're multi-passionate. And I'm also quite multi-passionate. But it's really important for the consistency and the growth of your YouTube channel to consistently post about the same thing. So for the first 7 months of my YouTube journey, I was posting videos every single week about personal finance and investing. And it was very, very, it was very helpful for my YouTube growth to stay on that track, because what happens then is that the people who subscribe to your channel, when they come back and they look at your, they're scrolling through YouTube, they're not going to click on your video if they subscribed for a personal finance channel and now I'm making a video about the wide variety of Christmas trees that they sell at, I don't know, Big W, you have to And if that's your channel, if you want to make a YouTube channel that's all about all of the different Christmas trees that they sell at Big W, then that's awesome. And you probably do really, really well with affiliate marketing if you chose to go down that path. But you have to post consistently. I know that the YouTube enthusiast who we have here, it is very addictive when you have a passion and dream. You have to be you and listen to what your subscribers and viewers like. That's such awesome, awesome advice. Thank you so much for that, Dean. And Dean is a really perfect example of this idea of niching down, because you make videos about Webbers. So Dean has the Weber enthusiast channel, and everything has something to do with Webbers. And so what happens then is people have subscribed to a channel that's about Webbers, and then and the recipes and fixing your Weber and cleaning your Weber and all sorts of stuff, but it's actually relevant to them. So when they come back to YouTube for another little session, they're not getting thrown a curveball of, oh, now I'm talking about the holiday that I took in Thailand. And if you want to do like a vlog style channel, that's awesome, but it's much faster for the growth of your channel if you make videos that are about the same thing. So some of my most viewed videos when my channel was about personal finance, which it sadly isn't anymore, but that's great. We're on a journey. It's all a journey. Life's a journey. But if I made a video and it was a tutorial about a specific investing platform that I was using and enjoying, I all of a sudden became like an authority on that investing platform. So now whenever anyone goes into YouTube and looks that up, then my videos are going to come up for that person. And it just boosts your authority when you continue talking about the same thing. So I definitely attribute that. Like, so posting consistently, posting like weekly or fortnightly, but also posting about the same stuff. And then eventually, once you've built your channel up and you've got people who are there because they're obsessed with you, then you can start doing whatever you want. But if you want to grow and you want to grow quickly, it's all about consistency. So the next thing that I have found very important is to tell people what you're doing. Friends, family, relevant Facebook groups, etc. This is potentially a really challenging thing for people, especially when they're just starting out, because there's a lot of fear. When I posted my first ever video, I was like, and a lot of videos after that, I was absolutely mortified at the idea that anyone should look and see that I was, trying to do a thing, trying to do a new thing. I was very embarrassed. And the embarrassment and the nervousness, I think, it doesn't necessarily go away. You just have to get over it and get on with it. And I think in the chat that I had with you, Dean, you're talking about there's an interview. If you want to have a little look afterwards, I might link it at the end of my interview that I did with Dean, the YouTube enthusiast who's in here. We were talking about how you got to punch fear in the face. You just have to do it anyway. You have to punch perfectionism in the face. Like, you just have to do it. You just have to tell people. And I know that my mum's probably sick of me hassling her to watch my YouTube videos, but it's helpful. And telling people was certainly what got me to my first 100 subscribers, telling my loved ones what I was doing and saying, can you please watch this even if you don't necessarily care about this specific topic? And it was amazing because so many people, even if they weren't necessarily that into it, a lot of people in your life are going to want to support you. Like, if they know what you do, know what you're doing, knowing what your motivations are for doing it, it's very, very helpful. I still hassle my family. about watching my stuff. I hassle my friends a little bit less these days. But finding relevant Facebook groups is immensely helpful. So now that I'm making videos that are more about YouTube, there's a lot of Facebook groups on YouTube that will not only have stuff like, you're welcome to post your videos in there, some of them, because there's a lot of places on Facebook where you get booted out of a Facebook group if you're posting stuff there. But there are some Facebook groups where you can post videos about YouTube, but post videos that you're making on YouTube. But there's also a lot of questions that people ask. So for my purposes, these groups are really, really helpful because that's very nice. My mum, she's not sick of being hassled. What an absolute sweetheart. So so in these Facebook groups, people ask questions about like, how do I start a YouTube channel? People want to know, like, how do you add, I saw someone in a Facebook group asking, how do you add chapters to your YouTube videos? And I was like, oh, I know how to do that. I'm going to make a video about it and answer that question and then share it with them. And that's such an awesome tip. Pretend the camera is your best friend you're talking to. That way you can overcome the fear, and before you know it, you forget you're talking to the camera. That's such awesome, awesome advice. So the next thing that I want to jump into, point number 4, is you want to improve your click-through rate with good thumbnails, staying true to your niche, the promise of your channel, and the promise of each video. So again, like with the thumbnails, I've made a tutorial about that, which I'll also link at the end of this video. With your thumbnails, you want to make sure they're really inviting. So you can spend so much time making a really perfect video, but if people don't click on it, then you kind of like, it gets a little bit like, what's the point? So there are a few things that you can definitely do that can increase your click-through rate. And one of them is what we touched on before, staying true to your niche, staying true to the promise of your channel and the promise of each video. So clickbaity thumbnails, that's like, do this or else you're gonna, I don't know, you're gonna have no success in your life. You don't want to make a thumbnail like that because you're not going to be able to answer that question. You want to have your thumbnail be something that is relevant to the video that you're making. And you can do that, you can do that with a good thumbnail. So in your thumbnails, you want to have, if you have your face in it, you want it to be big enough that we can really see your face. You want to have an expression on your face that's kind of giving a bit of a hint as to what the video is about, or some intrigue or something like that. I really like putting my face in my thumbnail because I think it helps people to know that it's me that made this particular video. If you have text in your thumbnail, just make sure that it's legible. You want to be able to read it. So the 5th thing that's going to help you to grow your YouTube channel is to commit to learning how to do well on YouTube. There's so much to learn about it. It's like with absolutely anything in life that you want to get good at, you need to learn how to do it first. And part of creating these videos, these live streams in the very early days when it's like, it's nerve-wracking. It's actually very, very nerve-wracking talking down the barrel of a camera. And while, yes, I am pretending it is my best friend, I know one of my best friends happens to be on the other end of this camera. It's a really nerve-wracking thing to do. But I am absolutely committed to getting good at this. I cannot wait till the day that I look back at this video and I go, oh, bless you, absolutely bless you, cotton socks. But I'm committed to getting better at it, and I'm committing to learning something new about it every day, every week. I'm committed to learning how to use the tools that I have access to, like Canva, for making my thumbnails, for improving my thumbnails. I'm committed to, reading books about how to be successful on YouTube and, camera presence and all of that sort of stuff. Learning and understanding how it works, how the algorithm works, learning how to please the algorithm, all of that sort of stuff. That it's not a total mystery how YouTube works. A lot of people who have a gajillion subscribers on YouTube, if you look back 10 years ago, you'll see the growth, but you also see, oh wow, this person has been doing this for such a long time. And like, it's amazing. I have someone who's going to be coming on my channel in a couple of weeks, so make sure you subscribe so that you get to watch that. That'd be great. I'm having this wonderful chap come on my channel who has been doing YouTube for like, I think 13 years. And I was watching some of his early videos today, and it's just totally astounding, the growth that's happened, and the fact that you can go back and watch these. It's just so inspiring for me, and to see that, because I'm like, if I was to compare myself to what he does now, it's quite threatening. And you could sit back and be nervous about it forever and not do it forever, or you could just go, bugger it, I know it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay, and I know I'm probably going to get to the end of this and feel a little bit embarrassed, and that's okay. But like, the point is to do it and to keep doing it. And the thing that I wrote down at the very beginning, which is the point that I think is probably the most important to live by, point number 6. Can you read that? Is that readable? Oh, hang on. We'll get rid of that. Perfectionism will ruin your life. That is like point number 6, and probably should be all of the points. Like, you just have to do it, and you just have to know that these lies that we've been fed about perfection are absolute nonsense. There is no such thing as perfect. There's stuff that looks like it is quite perfect, but people who have these perfect seeming videos, they didn't get there without making shitty videos. So like, if you're at the start of your YouTube journey or near the beginning, or you haven't started yet, I just would like to really encourage you to just start doing it. Like, be shit heaps and heaps of times. Like, mess it up. Get a dry, weird, nervous mouth. That's what that's for. Not thirsty. I've got a dry mouth. Why have I got a dry mouth? It's so embarrassing. Love all of these points, but point number 6 is definitely a winner. Yeah, you just have to know that it's an absolute lie that we've been fed, that it's possible to be perfect. Like, it's not real. My dear late grandfather used to say, I remember I went and watched him in he ran, and what's it called? Running and swimming and cycling. What is that called? What's that called? Oh, a triathlon. It's a triathlon. My papa, Reginald Arthur Sarah, used to compete. He used to compete in triathlons. And I remember one day when I was really little, I was so proud of him for winning silver in this triathlon. He was like, I guess in his 70s at the time. It was quite a moment. I was like, oh my gosh, my papa's so good. And he told me that second place is the first loser. So it's very clear to me where this, he also said a lot of really wonderful things in his life that I'm very, very grateful for. But that was definitely a bit of a bum steer from Papa, with the second place being the first loser. It's a bit ridiculous, because it's actually really, really, really impressive to come second. But, I think that the pursuit of perfection is kind of a little bit null and void, because only one person gets to do that, and it's a really shit thing to spend your life worried about not being perfect, and you know, and then not doing anything. But at least my Popper, he kept going, and he did win some golds, so good for him. He was first a few times, but yeah, just don't try and be number one. Don't try and be number one. Just try and be better than you were yesterday. I think that is very, very helpful. Anyway, that's a lot of rambling from me. I've got a few questions that came through. So true. Perfection is a myth. My wife, good on her. Beautiful. I had a few questions that came through on YouTube. No, this is YouTube. On Instagram that I wanted to touch on. And if anyone has any questions, pop them in the chat. And we're not going to go for too much longer here, but I would love to answer some questions. So this one came through on the Instagram. What have been some of the biggest challenges you've faced so far, and how have you overcome them? Earlier in the year, I had a pretty massive challenge. I was in hospital. My appendix ruptured, and it was a very, very unpleasant time. I was in hospital for 5 nights and had major abdominal surgery. It was it was a very challenging start to the year, not only physically, but also very emotionally challenging. One of the reasons being that I had been working so hard on building up this YouTube channel and all this on my personal finance channel, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it for a while, and I had been so dedicated, and I was in such a motivated place, and I'd been working so hard at it, and then I just couldn't do it, and I couldn't do it for ages. I was so unwell, and that for me was a really trying time of going if I'm not doing this thing that I've been trying to do, how do I get okay with that? Because it was not possible. I couldn't think for very long because I was very, very unwell. So I couldn't make videos, and I was trying to honor that experience. And once I started getting a bit better, trying to give myself that period of healing before I jumped back into this thing. And again, I was it's this overworking mentality, and thinking that, if I make stuff and I do stuff, then I'll be good. But I think yes, it's really, really good to set yourself a schedule. It's really good to be consistent, but it's also really, really good to give yourself a bloody break. And hopefully you don't have to end up in hospital for that to happen. But, I think also emotionally, when you're putting yourself out there a lot, it can be very challenging emotionally, just at the best of times, not even when you're in hospital or incapacitated or whatever, but it can be challenging. And it's who's set the rules? This is your YouTube channel. These are actually your rules. So if you can't do it 1 week or 1 fortnight or 1 month or whatever it is, the schedule that you set for yourself, it's okay. It's it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as much as you think that it does. The most important thing is setting yourself a schedule and sticking to it as much as you can. But then when shit happens, when shit hits the fan, you have to be kind to yourself. And, that's how, with that challenge, that's how I've overcome that. Just learning to be kind to myself and doing what you can. I was just doing what I could. So once I was well enough, I was I'm going to read a book about how to do YouTube. I'm going to watch an inspiring video of someone else who's an awesome YouTuber who I aspire to be like. I'm going to learn from them. I'm going to do that. Yeah, so one of the other big challenges that I had was when I realized that I had to completely change my channel and what I was doing. And I just, how I overcame that was I went to my YouTube mentor, who is Sean Cannell from Think Media, a part of an awesome group of content creators called Video Ranking Academy. There's amazing lessons and stuff, and I just kept on going back to these people. They have an amazing podcast. So when stuff gets negative, like, you can just fill yourself up with positivity and inspiration. And then I was like, oh, not only do I love investing in personal finance, I bloody love YouTube. That's what I want to learn about. That's what I want to help people with. And even though I am very much at the start of my journey, like, I am very aware that I have got helpful things that I can share with people. Like, I can help people, and that's so awesome. Another question that came through was, oh, this is a very, very basic and brilliant one. What's the best length video? This is such a debatable thing, but what I keep on hearing from what I have been learning is that you just have to do all sorts of different lengths of videos and work out what works best for you and your audience. It is tricky doing a video that goes for 31 to 35 minutes, because a lot of people who are discovering you for the first time, that's going to be kind of a tricky length to get someone to commit to watching. But Sean Cannell, who is my YouTube mentor, his advice for people when they are first starting out is to do live shows, because what you can do from that, well, what you learn as the person here is just so much about how to talk to a camera, how to, use their streaming platforms and all of that sort of stuff. But also you can then chop the bits that are good little morsels from this show will be being turned into shorter form videos like YouTube Shorts. It's just good to mix it up, because someone who's just discovering your channel for the very first time is probably not going to want to watch something that goes the length of like an episode of Outlander or whatever. But they might be inclined to watch a 2-minute video or a 5-minute video or a YouTube short, which is a video that's under 60 seconds. So I just think it's really, really good, based on all of the things that I'm hearing and what I've experienced from my own channel and making my own videos, is that just mix it up. Just mix it up, see what works. Some things are going to appeal to some people, other things are going to appeal to other people. Mix it up, but remain true to what it is that your channel is promising. So if it's investing, make sure your videos are about investing, no matter what length they are. If your channel is about how to start a YouTube channel, make sure all your videos are in some way related to how to start a YouTube channel. If it's about worm farming, make sure they're all about that. It doesn't matter so much the length, just mix it up. But yeah, that's what I reckon about that. I don't know. Does then everyone has a life outside of YouTube. You can't push yourself to burnout. Your mental health is important. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. That's so, so true. The last question that I had come through was how to know what to make videos about. This is such a good question. I think that one of the best things that I have found is following what your audience is wanting. And like, how do we know that? You can see which, like, the videos that have the most views on your channel, like, go through and sort them by, most views to least views, or most watch hours to least watch hours. And it'll give you a really clear indicator of what people are interested in and what they're absolutely not interested in. And another thing that I like to do is, you know, in the questions section of other people's videos. So when I restarted my YouTube channel and started making videos about how to start a YouTube channel, the first place that I kind of went to for inspiration was, well, questions that I had when I was first starting YouTube. That was very, very helpful to kind of remember that. But also, I looked on YouTube, I searched for other people, you know, even Think Media or Catherine Manning, and looked in the comment section at the questions that people were asking. And I think that, I don't know if anyone else does the same thing, or if anyone has any ideas about how to know what to make videos about, it would be awesome if you could leave those in the comments. That'd be very, very helpful. But yeah, I think it's just important to be led by the questions that people are asking. And there's lots of ways to find this out. Like, you can go to YouTube and type into the search bar, like, how to make and it's going to fill in heaps of different options, heaps of different possibilities. So you can find out what people are wanting to know information about. Like, you can make videos about whatever you want ultimately, but if they're not about what people are wanting, then it's, you know, kind of doesn't work. Yes, that's so awesome. So once you reach 500 subscribers, YouTube enthusiast Dean has said, run polls in YouTube community to ask your audience, as that is an awesome tool at 500 subs. Yeah, it's so awesome. Once you get to 500 subscribers, a new little feature will open up on your channel called community, and in there you can ask your it doesn't just go to your subscribers, it goes to lots and lots of different people, mainly subscribers, I think. And then once a few of your subscribers have seen it, it might push it out further. I think that's how it works. I'm very, very new to it because I've only just kicked over 500 subscribers. But it's amazing. You can create a poll and say, you know, out of these 5 things, what do you want to see a video about? And people will answer it. Like, that's such an awesome tip. I had totally forgotten about that. That's so great. Thank you so much for that, Dane. And yes, well, that's kind of the main stuff I had to say about all of that. It's just I'm so grateful to everyone for watching my stuff to this point. So grateful to everyone who's here in the live chat today. Whoever votes on it gets you videos sent to them for 2 weeks. That's amazing. So when people vote in your polls, there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn about YouTube. It's very, very exciting. Yes, I'm so grateful to everyone for being here today. I'm just appreciative of the support. If you could drop a thumbs up on this video, that would be awesome. Helps YouTube to show it to more people. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. I've got a Q&A coming up next week with some amazing YouTubers from the States. They are dog trainers. So they've got a channel that's all about training dogs and traveling with dogs, and all very dog friendly, which I, as a professional dog walker, I'm a big fan of. So that's going to be awesome. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell for that. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Very, very grateful.